Kiefer Bellows, Tyler. Okay, we're done. We can go.
Kurt, obviously you don't expect a championship game to be 8-2. How about some of the things you did well early in the game to get off to a good start?
Well, I think again, against a team like Lakeville North, you've got to play consistently defensively well. And we've been preaching it for a long period of time now. We've got depth, speed, build with skill. You've really got to play well. And the kids committed to it, and we got a good start. We've been trying to preach that for a long time, and the biggest thing is when you get kids that can score goals and do things, and these are two of them here. They're really, really good skilled players and really good offensively. If they buy into the defensive side of the things, it really makes a huge difference. And these two are just an example of our team.
Tyler, take us back to the loss to Hillmurray mid-season or so. Was there some head scratching, some soul searching then? Did you ever think you'd be in this spot back then?
Yeah, after we got our butts kicked at Hillmurray, to be honest, we got bag skated right when we got back to the rink, and we deserved it, every bit of it. I think that was a turning point of our season. We were rolling into it, and then that happened, and it was kind of like, wow, we really need to sit back and reevaluate what we're playing. So, I mean, they completely turned around our season. What we had, we turned it into an amazing. We had a little bump in the road, and that's what we needed. Like last year, we did the same thing at the Schwann's Cup. So it was I think it was good for us, and we learned a lot, and that's how we got here, and that's how we won the state championship.
How impressed have you been with the 12 new faces on the team? You guys are always going to be talented for sure, but to put everything together, make the run you did, how impressed are you with that?
Going to the seasons, ever since tryouts, we've done captain's practices, and it's been real tough, and coaches had a hard time picking the team, but they didn't miss one bit. Everyone they picked deserved to be on the team and contributed. It was just 20 brothers pitching in and for our end goal to win a state championship, and that's what they did. So honestly, all we had to do was play. They gave us the rules and systems, and we used that. And without them, again, we wouldn't be here.
Kurt, were you concerned at all after that crazy first period where it was kind of back and forth or were you okay?
I think we're fine. The biggest thing is, again, like Tyler referred to, is that if you stay within the system, it'll all settle itself down. I mean, we talked to the kids in between the first and second period. What do you expect? You can't expect to be up 16-0 after the first period, and Lakeville North is just going to kind of go away, and there's not going to be any game. I mean, we expected Lakeville North to play hard, and they played hard through that period of time and those types of things. So we knew that coming down the stretch. They're a good hockey team. You don't get the state championship and beat the teams they've beaten all year and not be a good team. So there's nothing to get frustrated about, nothing to get panicky about, because we should have expected that. That's why you play these games. You play against good teams in the championship games, and that's what happens. You're going to see ups and downs and peaks and valleys in these things, and you have to be mentally tough and mentally strong to handle those things. And I'll tell you what, I give these kids just a world of credit, because we started flowing and things started going really well at the beginning, and all of a sudden we were kind of dominating the play, and all of a sudden they turned their back on us and came back after us, and they just accepted it, changed gears a little bit, and away they went.
Kiefer, what did you learn as a first-time player here? What did you learn from the older guys like Taylor and Malmquist and some of those guys?
I'd probably just say, they taught me, I'm kind of a fiery kid. They taught me to keep my emotions going down. No matter what in the season, you're going to have ups and downs. And I had a down in the middle of the season. They told me it would come back up, and I couldn't be happier with them. They helped me along this way.
You had success, with you and your classmates all the way back to Pee-wees, winning the championship there and carrying it through. How was this, just being in this association of Edina hockey and winning throughout the years? How does that fit?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I couldn't be happier with every team I'm on. There's guys that you think that might not step up, but they did. It's unbelievable, but nothing compares to this. Those youth hockey state championships, they don't compare to this. This is unbelievable.
Kurt, back when you were playing for the
fortunate. We've got good depth. I mean, we actually took Kiefer off a couple of the top 2 lines and made it a 3rd line, partway through the season, and he accepted the responsibility for that. And that's tough to do when you're a top-end player. You got to get somebody to buy into something in order to make the team better. And sometimes it's difficult when you're a top-end player, you've played big minutes in big situations and stuff like that. We said, hey, here's what you need to do. We want you to play in this line here to create some depth for this. You're going to be in charge of this line as a sophomore. You had a senior on one side, you had a junior on the other side. The kid got control of the thing. Went after this thing. We became a very deep hockey team. But sometimes it's hard to accept that. And he accepted it, took the challenge, and took a leadership role as a sophomore. And that's a heck of a compliment to Kiefer.
Tyler, was this a complete game kind of performance for you club on both ends of the ice, special teams, penalty killing? Was it a complete effort tonight?
Yeah, going into it, it was a 1 versus 2 battle. Obviously, it was going to be a hard-fought battle. And going into the game, Coach wanted to just stick to our game and how we got there. So our power play's been hot, our penalty kill's been unbelievable, and all 3 lines and the 4th line and all 16. The goal is just everyone was working on all cylinders, and we were fortunate that we came up on top right away, and just the momentum was in our hands most of the time. And I mean, we got to give credit to Lakeville North. They were just a hell of a team. But we came up on top tonight because we stuck to our game plan, and it worked out for us.
Kurt, the extracurriculars early, we had a younger team, it's an emotional game. Any concern at all about sportsmanlike development, some of those things that were happening early on?
No, not really. It's interesting. You want kids that have an edge to them to a certain degree, and but you want them under control. And sometimes it's a real fine line is what that edge is. And sometimes they step over a little bit, but not too far, which is a good thing. And then, but hockey's an emotional game. They're emotional kids, and you want them to be emotional in the game. You want them to buy into things. You want them to emotionally be involved in the game. And our kids are emotionally involved in the game. So I'll tell you, it's a lot better to have to tone them down a little bit than have to jack them up every day to try and get them going, because that's really difficult. So, a little bit of that stuff, you've got to be disciplined. I mean, that's a big thing about high school hockey is with power plays and penalty killing the way it is and special teams, you've got to be extremely disciplined as a team in order to have success. And we've preached this for a long period of time, and the kids have been excellent with it. No, it's the biggest thing, John, you take a look at this thing is that, and we've said this a number of times we've been at the state tournament, is that you're just hoping you get your team's game on the ice. And the sooner you get that on the ice, the better off you are. We don't sit back and go, hey, by the way, you want to score 2 goals in the first 2 minutes of the game. That'd be nice to be able to do that. But what we really want to do is make sure they're prepared for the start. Our coaching staff does a great job preparing them, get them started, get them out of the blocks, make sure their thought process is correct, make sure they're doing the right things. We try and get them an opportunity in the thought process to get off to a good start and be successful. But you've got to have good players to do that. And we're very, very fortunate. We have really good players. Kiefer's a sophomore. Tyler's a senior. And we don't treat either of them any different than any other kids. We have a freshman kid defenseman as well, too. They all come into the fold. They're all treated the same way. The expectations are all the same. And they handled it extremely well. I give the players an awful lot of credit. We didn't think about it. It's in the back of your brain. Sure it is, because people talk about it. But you know what? It's hard to get here. And it's hard to win here. It's a difficult tournament to win. It's a difficult journey to get here. And to do it back-to-back is just a credit to our kids. And we didn't think about it much. It might have been in the back of our heads, but we didn't talk about it at all. I mean, our biggest focus was the first day was Stillwater. Actually, to tell you the truth, our biggest push, first of all, was to go through the sections. We got Prior Lake, we got Jefferson. We try and go step by step, phase by phase, and try and get to a point where we can try and get these guys as successful as they possibly can and not think about other things. They're 17 years old. If you get them thinking about too many things, you never know where you're going to end up. So we try and keep them focused, on the task at hand, and we try and have some fun with them, too. Let them enjoy this. This is a great opportunity. As Kiefer referred to, he's won state championships as Pee-wees and Bantams all the way through the youth program, stuff like that. we're walking up the hallway here, and he's just saying, nothing compares to this. Because nothing does compare to this. We've got a coach that won 4 Stanley Cups. And I tell you what, he's excited about this as he was for the 4 Stanley Cups. I mean, and that's just what this tournament represents. And high school hockey in the state of Minnesota is a big deal. And these kids know it, and to get to this stage and do the things these kids have done at this period of time is pretty outstanding. Well, I think the biggest thing is obviously you've got to have good, talented kids. There's no question about that. But you've got to have good, talented kids that are willing to buy into your coaching style, what you want to preach, and how you want to preach these kids, and if they fit into that. You know, it's really difficult if kids come into the program that are high-end kids and they don't buy into the system. They're used to doing their own thing and winging it on their own and kind of doing their own stuff. But these kids buy into it. They buy into the system. I give them an awful lot of credit because some of these kids have had to make some sacrifices on the offensive side in order to play within the system that we ask them to play. So I think we have a great coaching staff. I think we have a great group of kids. I think we have a great youth program. So, you know, we're very, very fortunate.
You got scoring from everywhere, but Miguel had 2 big goals. It was pushing. He's trying to score, but Edina still kind of going back and forth. What kind of lift did he provide?
He provides a lift all the time. But you know what? If it's not McGill, it could be Kiefer, it could be Tyler, it could be Dylan, it could be Parker, it could be Alec, it could be, I can go down a list of every kid that there is on our team. We somehow found a way for somebody on that team. And this is a true team. We've talked about this. We've had a coaching staff. We've been together for close to 15 years. And you want to know something? I look back at all the teams we've had. We've had some big, you know, really, really high-end teams and those types of things. This team here was a true group of kids that were really dedicated to the team and making this thing happen tonight. I can honestly say this is one of the best teams we've ever had. Chemistry-wise, we had great leadership with this group. And the kids just played hard every single night.
The physical play this tournament was pretty high. You talk about fighting through that injury yesterday and coming back out and having a heck of a championship game.
Yeah, it was a good hit by Nick Wolf there. He had my head down. I got hit pretty hard. Mostly, I told myself that I got cut up in my eyebrow, but I knew that wasn't going to stop me. I was going to play through that because I want to help these guys win, and I want to do whatever it takes to win because I know how special this is for the coaches and us players, and also our fans.
Proud of back-to-back 3 and 5 years. Can you walk out of here and tell people you played for a dynasty?
Yeah, honestly, Edina's treated me so well. Couldn't be more grateful for it. I'm going to miss putting on the sweater every day, but yeah, the Edina community is probably one of the strongest communities in the state by far, coming from the youth to the coaches to the fans. I mean, I'm just extremely blessed, and we're all blessed to be a part of it. Everything we've been given, whether it's the locker room or the rink or the players, just every day was special. These past 3 years and playing for these coaches, I don't think I'll ever have coaches as good as these guys going down the stretch. Just it's the chemistry and just the brotherhood that got us through the days that we were down, and it made everything that much more special. So I'm really gonna miss it. Yeah, again, coaches had high expectations for the young sophomores and freshmen, juniors, everyone. Feel like we all contributed to this state title, and even coming from coaches to players, everyone, we all pitched in, and we had our goal, and each player had a job, and I think everyone filled that job and did a pretty good job at it. So we were fortunate to come out top and state champions.
Kids. To tell you the truth, it's not winning state championships that I enjoy the most. It's actually get a chance to work with these kids. You know, there's a rap against Edina kids. They're spoiled. They're handed everything. They're given everything. They're not tough. There's all kinds of things we hear about Edina kids, and it's not true. They're great kids. They work hard. They're respectful. They care about one another. They're just great kids. It's a blast. Nice job, boys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.